talk about this vote and put it in perspective and in context for us a little bit, especially as it precedes the election, which is barely just more than a week away.
I think it shows a clear distinction between the parties. You know, when you looked at the nominating hearing, the Democrats, I think, thought it was a health committee hearing, and they talked about policy. They talked about Obamacare. Republicans talked about character, integrity, whether or not she'd be impartial, whether or not she was intellectually capable of the job, and I think she was amazing. I mean, one of the most dramatic parts of the testimony is when Senator Cornyn said, "Can you hold up the notes you're using?" And she held up a blank piece of paper. I mean, that takes something to go through hours and hours of grilling with all these senators having 100-page booklets put together by their staff, and she did it all from memory. So I think she has the intellect. I think she's got the capacity. I like that she not only is smart and intellectual and impartial, but also like that she's a mother and a woman of faith. And I think all of those together will make her a great justice.
Do you expect this may change the arc of the Supreme Court for perhaps a generation or so?
Maybe. It's one of the most important things a president does. And, when President Trump ran, I was one of his opponents, and I was unsure how conservative would he be? Would he appoint conservative justices? And he has. We've done over 200 to the bench, district level, and appeals court level, and 3 to the Supreme Court. And I think they've all been good picks. People who will interpret the Constitution as it was written, people who don't believe that they're a super legislator and don't believe that they're there to make the law, but they're there to interpret the law. Will it change the direction? I hope so, but I hope so in a good way.
Talk about the significance of this vote with respect to this issue of court packing, which is being promulgated by a lot of your Democratic colleagues.
The court packing scheme came about in the 30s and 40s when FDR became frustrated with a conservative Supreme Court, and he said, "I'm going to pack it." And at first, many Democrats were for it, but then the more they talked about it, the more they thought what a bad idea it would be, and it would really politicize the court and make it very political if one person came in and put 3 or 4 at one time. Because what would happen is probably neither party is above this. If Democrats put 3 on, what happens when Republicans win? Maybe they put 5 on, then Democrats put 7 on, and where does it end? So I think really 9's not a bad number. I think it's good to have an odd number to try to get decisions, but I don't think we should pack the court. I think it's a bad idea, and the fact that Biden won't rule it out means that he is somewhat beholden to the left wing of his party, the radicals who want to do that. They also want to get rid of the legislative filibuster, and if we get rid of the filibuster, realize that if they have 51 votes in the Senate, they have the House, and they have the presidency, we could very quickly get their Green New Deal, which is going to cost trillions of dollars, all of the nationalization, free college, free this, free that, that's not really free, that costs a lot of money. So the filibuster actually serves a purpose to keep the country from lunging one direction or the other. And I worry, should we lose the election and they get rid of the filibuster, that all of a sudden, Bernie's socialist paradise will be America, but it may not be such a paradise. It may not be what people think it is.
Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, thank you for talking to us on One American News.
Thank you.